How do I get rid of these stupid ruminating thoughts? His constantly spinning carousel of negative thoughts, terrible fears about the future, and negative judgments that just intrude and keep coming back. If you've ever asked yourself this question, then stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Soul Tapping. Today there's a continuation of my video about ruminating thoughts and stop phrases. Back then, I listed 10 different ways you can attach something to this stop technique. So it's about catching yourself when you have these completely unproductive, fully automated, negative thought loops and interrupting yourself with a loud stop. And so that it doesn't start all over again a minute later. You can think of stop phrases to attach to the stop. These phrases essentially redirect and switch your thoughts and focus away so you don't even get tempted to slip back into negativity. And today there are 10 more stop phrases, essentially points 11 to 20. And we'll get started right away. Point 1 is called interesting. This means that when you catch yourself having such a thought or feeling that keeps coming back, which you don't want, you simply say to yourself, interesting thought, interesting feeling, interesting sensation that I have. So, for example, this works with self-deprecating thoughts. When you catch yourself in everyday life saying again, man, hey, what am I? Phew, why did I do that now? Or, I don't know, that shouldn't have happened to me. Or what does he think of me now? So, if you're so critical of yourself then, interrupt yourself and just say interesting. Interesting thought. What does this little word interesting do? It ensures that you switch to a neutral observer position. You leave your inner drama, no longer identifying with your thoughts. Instead, you simply observe them. So, you step out of judgment. And that's really important. That you start evaluating your thoughts, because then you are no longer them. You are the observer. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's completely fine. In essence, you are changing your identity. This somewhat leads into the direction of point 2, which is called, what is the program called? You become aware that there's just a software running which is outdated. So this thought that keeps running automatically is a program that you can give a title to. This doesn't just apply to ruminating thoughts, but also to behavioral patterns that are programmed in which keep repeating themselves, even though you don't actually want them because you know they're not helpful. For example, something like, this program, when I feel lonely, I have to go to the fridge. Or when I want to reward myself. Or, then, I have to go to the liquor cabinet or the candy cupboard, whatever it may be, with such addictions. That's also an old program that's simply programmed in here. And where you should make yourself aware that it's a program. So give the whole thing a title, like a kind of movie title. And when it breaks, you say stop. And then what is the name of the program? For example, when I am criticized, I must feel shame. That is not God-given fate, but it is a program. And when you become aware of it, you can change it. Yes, that is always the most important thing, or, for example, the program has. Maybe, when I wake up in the morning, I must immediately activate my fear of the day. Or something like that, yes. Or do. Such things interrupt. I name the film title of this program and decide to change this program here and now. Basically, it's not something you need to devalue or be ashamed of or anything like that, but it's exactly the same as needing to signal, before I want to turn. That is also a program that has been programmed in here and is useful. So, in principle, this mechanism in the brain is totally useful. Fewer accidents happen because we have gotten used to and trained ourselves to indicate to everyone which direction we want to go in while driving. That's simply trained behavior. You might have gone to driving school for 20-25 hours, repeated it over and over, and since then you don't think about it anymore. That is very energy efficient for the brain. And that's really all there is to it. This also applies to the program of going to the fridge, feeling ashamed when criticized, or doing anything else. Make it conscious, then you don't need to be ashamed of it. Nor, well, you can then change it. Okay, point 3 is called old or new me? You ask yourself the question with this thought that you just caught yourself having. Let's say you have the thought, I am a burden to others. Then, ask yourself which part of me is thinking that right now. So is it the old depressive part thinking that, which I actually don't want to feed anymore? Or is it the new healthy part thinking that, the one I want to transform into? My new self, so to speak. So, ask yourself questions like, when you think I'm just a burden to others anyway, then ask yourself, will this thought make me and others happy? Or, will it raise my vibration? Or does it align with this highest vision of myself that I have? When I design my new self, when I ask myself, how do I want to be? What is my new self like? Does the thought align with this new self? If yes, wonderful, repeat it. If not, let the thought go and keep telling yourself to stop. I will no longer feed my old self. But now I want to step into my new self. I no longer want to allow such a thought to keep me trapped in my old self. That's basically what it's all about. This also includes a bit of point 4. Do I want more of this in the future? That's the question. I believe we've discussed this several times in multiple videos, that you should always be aware that in your daily life you are like a farmer in the field. With your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors you are sowing your future. And that's exactly what you will harvest. So we simply become aware that everything is energy. My thoughts are also energy. I am sending out energy with it. And accordingly, in the future, I will receive exactly this energy back in the form of corresponding experiences, meaning situations that give me reason to think this thought again and consider it true. That's exactly this loop. And I interrupt it by becoming aware of it. What I think now will become my reality tomorrow. Do I want that or do I not want that? So the question is, do I want more of it in the future? And if not, bam, interrupt it. So the understanding essentially reinforces this stop by making yourself aware of what the consequence would be if you now allow this thought to keep haunting you. This gives you a stronger will to really say, stop now, enough, I don't want this anymore. Okay. Point 5 is, what am I grateful for today? That's a joker sentence. It always works. Only when you interrupt your thoughts, switch them. If you don't know what else to think, switch to gratitude, because that always works. So, in situations like when something doesn't work out for you, I can't do this, it won't work, shoulda, coulda, woulda, blah, blah, blah. So, regret and all that stuff. There you can really say, stop, what am I grateful for today? And then you list 3 things at least, or better yet, 10. It's obviously helpful if you're already doing gratitude exercises, like writing down 10 things you're grateful for before going to sleep at night. Then something will immediately come to mind because you've already trained yourself to do it. That's what it's helpful for as well. Just as an idea, when you interrupt your ruminating thoughts, bam, immediately shift towards gratitude, because very often negative ruminating thoughts arise from a feeling of lack. I don't have something, I can't do something. It's all like that. It has this energy of lack, which you need to get out of, and you get out of it when you make yourself aware of the abundance in your life and realize what you are grateful for today. And that naturally triggers a different feeling, namely a feeling of gratitude. Point 6 is, this thought opens new doors. So, with such destructive questions you ask yourself, like, what did I do to deserve this? Why do I always have to suffer? Why does it never work out for me? Why me, blah, blah? Yes, so something like that, ask yourself this question. Do these thoughts open new doors for new possibilities? No. You expose the complete meaninglessness and destructiveness of these thoughts. And instead, you can ask yourself the question, how can I rephrase the question so that it opens new doors to new possibilities? What should this door-opening question be called? There are many different possibilities. For example, how can it be easy now? How can it become easier? Or what else is possible? Or what if it does work out? Or what do I really want? What do I want instead? These are all constructive questions that lead you to new possibilities. And if you notice a destructive question, stop. Does this question open new doors? Now, change it. Send a new thought after it, again and again. This is training. Old thoughts stop. New thoughts send after it. Nothing more. Don't judge. Not, oh, this is so bad and the old one keeps coming back. So what? That's normal. So just do your training, do your exercises, and it will keep getting better. Point 7 is, where is the misunderstanding? Understanding. Ask yourself the question, what is really different here that I just don't understand yet? This is helpful with thoughts like, when you, let's say, interpret the behavior of other people, something like, I don't know, my girlfriend hasn't contacted me for a week, which must mean she doesn't like me anymore, she doesn't want any contact, blah, blah, blah. In reality, it could be that she's just busy, distracted by her own daily life, and it has nothing to do with you. These are typical situations when you take things personally that have nothing to do with you. Or when someone speaks badly, they speak badly because of themselves, not because of you. These are matters of interpretation. Or my boss looks annoyed today, I must have done something wrong. Maybe you know such thoughts or negative visions of the future. Surely, this and that will happen now. You need to say, stop. Where is the misunderstanding? Where have I drawn a false conclusion that makes me see problems where there are none? And then you simply ask, could it actually be completely different? Could it be that the person meant it differently, that it's not about me at all, and things like that? Point 8 is this mine? That's a good question when it comes to beliefs, especially general beliefs about life. You should be aware that a large part of your thoughts are not your own, but adopted from your parents, teachers, your partner, society, media, and so on. Thoughts like, I will never get out of my depression. How do you know that? Are you sure? Ask yourself the question, is this yours? Or could it be that it was instilled in you? In clinics, you often hear from therapists or a friend who has been depressed for 20 years. Did she perhaps say something like that to you? Check that out. Is this mine? And then feel into your body. Does it feel light or heavy? When asking the question, is this mine? If it feels light, it's not yours. And that way you can distinguish it a bit. Or typical beliefs like, the world is not a bed of roses. Or the world is a dangerous place. Or people are all stupid. Or you have to work hard for money. Or such silly things. Did you come up with that yourself? No, that's not yours. Most likely not. That's why, when such questions or beliefs come to you as a thought, ask yourself the question, is this mine? Point 9 is, what if there was nothing wrong with me? That's a really good, very general statement that you can actually say to yourself in any problematic situation. For example, in all possible variations of self-deprecation, feelings of guilt, shame, regret, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and so on. So for instance, if you've watched this video and then realized, damn, I can't stop my ruminating thoughts, it's not working for me. I know all of this now, but I still can't put it into practice. I thought I had already overcome my depression, I was feeling much better before, and now I'm back in a slump, and so on. With such thoughts, ask yourself, what if nothing about it is wrong? What if nothing about me is wrong? What if I'm just running a program right now on a path that has ups and downs? What if everything is going according to plan? That's always my favorite question too. What if everything is going according to plan? And what if nothing is wrong with what's happening right now? Because ultimately it has a good purpose and will turn out well in the end, for me and for all of us. And the 10th sentence is, out of the drama into the body. Out of the head, out of the drama up here, shift your attention down into the body. So that's another option. If you can't manage to interrupt your thoughts and think something new instead, then try not thinking at all. And you can achieve that by focusing on your pure bodily sensations, because the body is always in the here and now. The body doesn't create thought drama. Instead, it produces sensations that somehow accompany emotions and thoughts. So distract yourself from your drama and get into the body. This works well with those typical repetitive rumination loops. But it also works in trigger situations when your pain body has been triggered. Let's say your ego just got scratched someone, said something insulting, and that often happens with a body reaction. Somehow goes through the stomach, or you can't breathe, or it gets tight here and there. Pressure on the chest or the neck goes into a defensive posture, or whatever the body reacts to in trigger situations. And if you don't want the drama up here, because it's all familiar and nothing is new or helpful anymore, then go into your body, name it. You can tap while doing this, that's always helpful. But if that's not possible right now, just feel, name, allow. Interesting. Once again, sentence 1. Interesting. My throat is closing up right now. Okay. My ego just reacted. That's interesting. There's a feeling of being offended. So, this is somewhat related to the first sentence, that you come into a neutral observer position. Or where it also works well is with fear. So with panic attacks, when suddenly some fear arises in you, immediately direct your attention to the body. Just feel and perceive what the body is doing. Because if your attention is up here in the drama, it escalates, and then these fear spirals start. So what's wrong with me? Am I having a heart attack now? All these thoughts, do I have to die now? Thoughts that come to you during a panic attack, don't even let them in. Distract yourself by observing your body, as it simply shows a fear reaction. It's completely normal for your hands to get sweaty, your pulse to rise, your breathing to quicken, and your heart to pound. When you have such physical sensations, it's completely normal. Then my body system is working, my alarm system is functioning. Wonderful. It's just a bit misguided because the panic attack doesn't have a real background. But in principle, your body is functioning. With that certainty, you can observe it. Interesting. My hands are getting sweaty right now. My heart is pounding. Hello, heart. Thank you for beating for me. When you approach it with such an attitude and move out of the drama into your body, then you might be able to lower the threshold of fear. Press a little, lower it a bit, so you don't get caught in that spiral and go straight to 180. Okay, maybe you can think of more phrases. Feel free to write in the comments if you have more ideas, or if you already have success strategies that work well for you, what you can do against ruminating thoughts. I always think it's great when you exchange ideas in the comment section below. And feel free to watch the other video again. I will link it again, the one with the first 10 ruminating phrases. That video is already 2 years old, but I think it's still relevant and helpful. And now you can give a big wide like, subscribe to my channel, and share as much as you can. I would be very happy about that. So, take care, my dears. Goodbye.